This Korean fried rice is a great weeknight meal. It's made in about 20 minutes, has a ton of flavor and over 50 grams of protein. Fried rice is a great meal to use leftover rice from the day before because as the rice cools down it becomes less sticky, which leads to less clumpy fried rice. However, you can absolutely use instant rice that is already cooked and then packaged, or just use freshly cooked rice. Everything works just as well. If you make the rice fresh, you have to wash the rice for this meal. I use jasmine rice here, so measure about 60 grams and add it to the bowl, add in cold water and then start to kind of massage the rice. As you do this, you will see that the water becomes cloudy. The reason for that is as you wash the rice, the excess starch gets washed away, and the starch in rice is what makes it sticky and then clumpy, which is what you don't want in fried rice. You want loosened up singular rice grains, so massage the rice for about 20 seconds, then remove the cloudy water and do it once more with fresh cold water, and that should be enough to wash off most of the starch. If the water doesn't become super cloudy anymore after washing, you are good. So drain the water, add the rice to a bowl with a pinch of salt, and then add about double the amount of water than the rice, which in my case is 120 grams. This ratio works pretty well in my pot, which is 18 centimeters or 7 inches. Place it on a stove on high heat, and as soon as it starts to boil, close the lid, reduce the heat to low, and let it simmer for about 12 minutes. In the meantime, you can prepare everything else, starting with the protein source. And as you can see here, I have 2 servings of meat. The right side is extra lean ground beef with 5% fat, and on the left is regular ground beef that usually has 20% fat. You can see a big difference in white color. That's because of the fat. If you can find extra lean ground beef, please use that, as it has half the calories and more protein than regular ground beef. However, if you only have access to the regular one, then of course use that. I'm also adding 1 whole egg. This is optional, however, but I love adding it on top of the meal. To add volume, I'm going to chop up 1 red onion and then a red bell pepper, slice it in half, remove the core, and then first cut the pepper into thin planks before dicing it into small pieces. The smaller the better here, because it's a much better experience when eating this meal with a spoon and you have a bit of everything in every bite. Next, add 2 to 3 scallions, remove the root and then slice the white part that will go into the hot pan, and at the end you can also dice the green part of the scallion that you can use for garnish. Next are the aromatics. Place 2 cloves of garlic on your board, give them a light smash with a knife so the skin gets peeled easier, and then with a microplane grate it and place it into a small bowl. If you can find a small piece of ginger about the size of your thumb, grate it as well. Those two taste great together in stir fries. Place everything on a cutting board before preparing the sauce, which starts with gochujang, a red chili paste with fermented soy that is spicy and has a ton of flavor. This is a staple in the Korean cuisine. Add 20 grams to the glass, followed up by 10 grams of rice vinegar and then 20 grams of soy sauce, and optionally but highly recommended light mayonnaise. This tastes almost the same as regular mayo, but there's only 1/3 of the calories because it has a lot less oil. Add 20 grams to the glass and give it a stir until combined. I love this sauce in stir fries. You need to try this out, so let's get cooking. Heat up a pan to medium heat, and it's good to use a big pan here. Mine is 28 centimeters or 11 inches. It will make everything easier at the end. Add a teaspoon of 4 grams of oil and then the bell peppers, the onion and the scallions with a pinch of salt. Keep frying the vegetables for about 3 to 4 minutes, stirring occasionally until they slowly become translucent and the onion starts to caramelize. After that, push them to the side of the pan, add another half teaspoon of oil, add the ground beef, and then with a spatula try to separate the meat as well as possible. The more meat comes in contact with the pan, the more browning can develop, which again leads to more flavor. Add a pinch of salt and black pepper, let the meat cook for 1 minute, and then give everything a good stir. Remember, this is extra lean beef, so it will become dry fairly quickly. Separate the last clumps of meat again and keep frying for 1 more minute. The meat and vegetables are basically ready now, so add your aromatics for 20 more seconds so they can develop some more flavor before adding the rice. Give everything a good stir, and finally add in your prepared sauce and also a splash of water. The sauce is quite thick because of the mayo, so this will help distribute it better throughout the entire dish. So the meal is ready here. All I'm gonna do is push the rice to the side of the pan, add in a tiny bit more oil and then crack in the egg, add salt and black pepper, close the lid for 1 minute until the egg is cooked through, and this is also the reason why it's better to use a big pan as everything fits in. So add everything to a bowl, and if you want to do something fancy here, place a plate on top, turn it around, and then you have the restaurant style reverse rice bowl. Finally, place your egg on top and sprinkle the chopped green part of the scallions, and there you go, a great weeknight meal that comes in at 754 64 calories, 74 grams of carbs, 28 grams of fat, and 53 grams of protein. If you want to try one of the highest quality olive oils possible, you need to try my freshly made Petrusa oil that I made myself in Greece in my own olive mill with green olives, early harvested, which resulted in over 500 milligrams of polyphenols. That's the stuff that makes oil healthy. I promise you won't regret trying it. Also, my cookbook that will help you lose weight and my Nakiri style knife made out of German steel, everything is in the description.